Well, the prospect of retirement can be daunting and confusing for many of us. Just how much super will you need to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle in your golden years depends on a number of factors. Finance editor Ross Greenwood is here to help. Great to see you again, Ross.
Morning, Jess. I've got bad news, you know.
What is it?
There's never enough.
Well, that's it. How do you work out how much you do need?
Well, it's really difficult because most people will dramatically underestimate it. When people have been surveyed and sort of looked at their lifestyle, most people will generally tell you that they need way less than they really do need to look after themselves in retirement. And look, there's a few really simple things to try and work this out. I mean, the old thing was always if you take your current salary and multiply it by 20. So if you're on, let's say, $50,000 a year as a pretty average salary in Australia, and you multiply that by 20, that means to earn $50,000, your salary, from a bank account paying 5%, you need $1 million in the bank. That's what your job's worth to you. Now, if you think about that's what you might need in retirement to live on, then you've got to have $1 million. And that's almost impossible to do for a person who is earning $50,000 a year.
So what's the answer then? How do we do it? How do we get some nest egg for our retirement?
Well, the answer is, of course, compulsory superannuation helps, but it's not enough because it's said from the day that you start work at the age of 20 to the day you retire at the age of 60, you should save 15% of every paycheck to put aside into your superannuation. Now, compulsory superannuation is 9%. Most people cannot save that other 6% because they send their kids to school, they pay off their cars, they build their house. So it's necessary for those people to hope that their house price rises, and so that becomes a part of their nest egg. And generally when people get to retirement, they will sell the family home, move into a cheaper form of accommodation, or go to the coast or go to the country, and so as a result have more money in their nest egg, hoping, of course, that you don't live too long, because the longer you live, the more likely it is you run out of money as well.
Ross, I'm just feeling so stressful just listening to you.
You should, because it's this point that you must accumulate these assets when you're working.
So people listening at home, what then is the most important thing? Property then, are you saying?
No, start early. You've got to start early, and you've got to start from the day you start work. This is about the financial literacy that people need to recognise that if they do start earlier, then they will not need as much money later in their lives, and also that their money will last them longer. But of course, with the pressures of mortgages and the pressures of sending kids to school and raising children, it is difficult for a lot of people to do. But you must have savings and you must have investments.
So first and foremost, start deducting your super from your salary early.
That's right. Well, at 9%, but put some more in as well. And then try and make certain that you can clear your mortgage as quickly as you possibly can. Some people
Easier said than done, though.
Of course it is, because some people will never clear their mortgage until they retire. And this is the difficulty as well, because if house prices are flat for a long period, of course that asset is going nowhere, and you're relying on that asset to rise in price so you can fund your retirement.
What if you've left it too late? What if
you're
getting close to retirement?
Well, to be honest, you're stuffed, aren't you?
Oh, come on, you've got to have some more sympathetic advice than that, Ross.
But you are. It's the truth. You go and live on the age pension, and that's 25% of the average person's wage. If you're a couple, you're just above the poverty line. If you're a single person, you're below the poverty line in Australia on the age pension. So, tell me you're not stuffed.
So there's nothing you can do. Say retirement is 5 years away, 6 years away.
Yes.
Is there anything you can do? How can I resurrect this situation?
Well, you can stop eating and put as much money as you possibly can in, or you can recognise that you must compromise your lifestyle in retirement and that you don't have enough, and you're honest with yourself about these things. There is a nice thing, because there's this whole question about how much money is enough, and it's an amazing question to raise, and you should have targets from when you're early. Do you want to know 2 tricks about how much money is enough? I've given you one, and that is multiply your current salary by 20, and that should be enough money. The second way to do it is there's a great aspirational thing. From when you're very young until when you're very old, try and own in your life 4 houses outright with no debt. Big call. So if you say your current house is worth $500,000, 4 houses, this is what you need. This is enough money. And the reason is, there's an old theory that if you have 4 houses owned outright, you have enough money. You live in one house, no rent, no interest, no nothing. The second and third houses, you get the rent from, and you live off that rent. Pay your food, go on holidays, do whatever you like. And the rent from the 4th property that you have, you pay your tax bill with.
Terrific, but I think for many people that is just going to be a
4
dream.
houses times $500,000, $2 million.
One house is hard enough. Ross, thanks for your advice.
Right, okay.